Chapter 1. The Signal from Vaelor's Grave. The Cinderline War had lasted 18 months when Fleet Marshal Teyana Rusk surrendered humanity's largest frontier fleet. The message reached every Galactic Compact command channel at once. It carried her face, her voice, her command codes, her biological signature. No visible signs suggested coercion. "I am Fleet Marshal Teyana Rusk of the Terran Expeditionary Command." Teyana stood on the bridge of the human battleship Fourth Promise. Blood darkened the collar of her uniform. A bruise covered one side of her face. Emergency lights flashed behind her. Beyond the bridge windows, Orash Veyr ships surrounded the human fleet. Black frames rotated around hollow centers. Pale energy moved along their edges. Human vessels drifted among them with weapons cold and shields lowered. Teyana looked directly into the camera. "Humanity offers the unconditional surrender of all forces under my authority." Then the message repeated, and repeated again. Admiral Moress Thane watched it aboard the Senate command cruiser Silver Concord. His species possessed 3 long legs, 2 flexible arms, and a translucent chamber through the chest. Silver vapor moved inside Morse's chamber. Senate emotion appeared as color. Silver meant control. Morse had spent most of his life maintaining it. Around him, the compact 11th Fleet held position at the edge of Vaelor's grave. 800 Allied warships waited beyond a field of dead industrial platforms, Kelari spear cruisers, Murath artillery vessels, Galun carriers. Senate command ships. Ivara medical tenders. None had expected to witness a human surrender. Operations Director Hallan of Mist stood beside Morse. Hallan was Tesselan. His translucent ribbon body floated inside a bronze pressure shell filled with warm, salt water. Color moved through his skin beneath the liquid. At that moment, Hallan glowed pale with disbelief. "The message is authentic," Hallan said. "Authentication can be copied." "Not at this level." "Everything can be copied at some level." Hallan's color shifted. "You are referring to the infiltrators aboard the Long Road home." "Yes. The Long Road protocol requires verification through multiple trusted witnesses." "Then verify her." Hallan opened every available channel to the human fleet. No response came. Teyana's surrender message continued repeating. "Humanity offers the unconditional surrender of all forces under my authority." Morse studied the tactical display. The human fleet occupied the center of Vaelor's grave. 623 ships. Most were outdated by compact standards. Boxy destroyers, converted cargo carriers, armored rescue ships. Old missile cruisers designed before humanity entered the compact. They had arrived in the dead system 12 hours earlier. Then more than 1,400 Orash vessels emerged around them. The enemy formation included command carriers, migration control ships, and 3 massive coordination vessels believed to direct entire regional offensives. Humanity had gathered the most valuable Orash command formation seen since the war began. Then surrendered to it. Hallan opened another message. This came from Karad's Rest 12 minutes after Rusk's transmission. The image of a human woman appeared. Chief Security Officer Dalia Nwasu stood aboard the refugee cruiser Long Road home. Her throat was bruised. One arm rested inside a medical support. "No one acts on one voice," Dalia said. "No one disarms because one familiar face tells them to. Verify through people, not machines." The recording ended. Morse looked toward Hallan. "Has Compact Command received this?" "Yes. And..." They classified it as unauthorized interference. A new priority message entered. The seal of the Compact High Defense Council filled the display. "All compact formations within range of Vaelor's grave will cease hostile operations. Human FORCES have entered formal surrender negotiations. Allied action may invalidate the terms and endanger prisoners." Morse's vapor darkened. "Prisoners." Hallan checked the Orash channels. "The enemy claims every human crew is now protected under surrender terms." "Since when do the Orash honor surrender?" "They do not call it surrender." An Orash transmission appeared. Hundreds of voices spoke in unison. "Human military organisms have accepted processing." A map followed, the human fleet, the 11th Compact Fleet, nearby Cinderline routes. "Additional combat organisms will reduce output." Hallan's skin turned gray. "They are ordering us to power down." "They are not negotiating." "No. They are expanding the surrender." Hallen looked toward the human ships. Compact Command believes any attack will cause the Orash to execute the crews. The Orash intend to erase them regardless. Belief is not evidence. Morse studied Vaelor's grave. The system contained one dead world and one dying red star. Long before the Compact existed, the Vaelori had built an industrial civilization there. They had dismantled moons for metal. They had broken captured asteroids into cities. They had surrounded their star with foundries, smelters, cargo rings, and ship recycling stations. Then something destroyed them. Only ruins remained. Thousands of industrial platforms drifted around the dead planet. Most were powerless. Some had not transmitted a signal in 12,000 years. Humanity had chosen this system deliberately. Morse knew that much. He did not know why. A tactical officer called from the lower deck. Admiral, human ships are ejecting weapons. Morse enlarged the display. Missile racks opened. Rail ammunition drifted into space. Plasma capacitors discharged. Human vessels released targeting cores and navigation processors. One by one, their weapons went dark beyond immediate recovery. Hallen's pressure shell released a low tone. They are truly disarming. The fourth promise opened its forward bays. Hundreds of missiles floated out. Human tugs pushed them away. The missiles powered down. The Orash moved closer. Boarding vessels detached from the enemy formation. Morse felt the silver vapor in his chest turn blue. Send it, he grief. He forced it back toward silver. Send a direct request to Rusk. We have tried. Send another. Hallen transmitted. Fleet Marshal Teyana Rusk, this is Admiral Moress Thane of the Galactic Compact 11th Fleet. Under the Long Road Protocol, your surrender requires independent verification. No response. Request confirmation from 4 human command officers. Nothing. Request confirmation from 1 civilian authority. Silence. Hallen looked toward Morse. The Orash are jamming her. Perhaps. You believe the surrender is false. I believe we do not understand it. That does not make it false. No. A human battleship separated from formation. Its engines flickered weakly. The vessel turned toward the compact fleet. For one moment, Morse thought someone was escaping. Then an Orash beam struck it. The battleship split open. Escape pods launched from the wreck. Orash machines collected them, not rescued, collected. The human fleet did not react. No ship fired. No vessel moved to help. Teyana's surrender message repeated. Humanity offers the unconditional surrender of all forces under my authority. Hallen's color darkened. Compact Command is ordering us to withdraw. Distance. Beyond the system boundary. If we withdraw, the human fleet disappears. Yes. If we remain, the Council may remove us from command. Yes. Morse looked toward Vaelor's dead industrial platforms. One floated near the compact formation. Its hull had been cut open by ancient impacts. No power signature appeared. No atmosphere remained. The platform was a corpse. Then Hallen made a small sound. What? The Tesselan enlarged an optical image. A maintenance window on the platform's dark side had briefly reflected light. Not starlight, interior light. It vanished almost immediately. Hallen checked the sensor log. No power source detected. Life signs. None. Then what produced the light? Hallen's skin shifted with uncertainty. Morse opened a narrow optical channel toward the platform. No network, no radio, only a tight beam of visible light. Unknown occupants identify. Nothing answered. He repeated the message. A single lamp blinked behind the maintenance window, 4 short pulses, a pause, then 1 long pulse. Hallen searched the compact signal archive. No match. Morse checked the human emergency codes. The pattern belonged to Old Terran maritime signaling, 4 short, 1 long. The translation appeared, not yet. Morse looked toward the surrendered fleet. The Orash boarding vessels reached the first human ships. Compact Command ordered him to leave. The dead platform blinked once more, not yet. Then every light went out. Chapter 2. Terms of Defeat. The Orash boarded the human fleet 1 ship at a time. They began with command vessels. Black boarding spines attached to hulls. Ceramic machines entered through airlocks. Human crews emerged without weapons, hands empty, helmets removed. Officers surrendered command keys and physical access codes. Every action was visible. Every action looked genuine. Admiral Moress Thane held the 11th Fleet at the edge of Vaelor's grave. Compact Command transmitted 3 withdrawal orders. He acknowledged none of them. Hallen of Mist watched human prisoners being transferred into Orash collection vessels. Perhaps the platform signal came from stranded scavengers. In the exact system humanity selected for surrender. Coincidences exist. They become less useful when repeated. A tactical officer turned from her display. Admiral Orash vessels are attaching to the industrial platforms. How many? 47. The enemy had noticed the ruins. Orash survey machines spread across Vaelor's grave. They entered dead stations, cut open ancient cargo rings, scanned smelters and shipbreaking yards. The Orash would not leave unknown infrastructure behind. Hallen's color shifted toward yellow. If the platforms are part of a human trap, the enemy is already finding them. Yes. Should we attack? With what objective? To protect the platforms. We do not know what they do. Then to protect the humans. Morse looked toward the enemy fleet. 1,400 Orash warships, 800 compact vessels. The human fleet was disarmed and surrounded. An attack would begin with the enemy killing prisoners. It might end with the destruction of every ship in Vaelor's grave. We cannot protect them by pretending numbers do not exist, Morse said. Hallen's skin darkened. Humans seem to do that frequently. They do not pretend numbers are absent. Morse remembered Karad's Rest, the mining moon where civilians had chosen people over infrastructure. He remembered the argument that followed. Compact doctrine had called the moon non-viable. Its people had stayed anyway. Humans decide numbers are not the only fact. A message entered from the fourth promise, not the repeating surrender. A direct signal. Teyana Rusk appeared. Her bridge looked darker than before. Orash machines stood behind her. One pressed a ceramic weapon against the back of her command chair. Admiral Thane, Teyana said. Morse leaned toward the display. Fleet Marshal. You have been ordered to withdraw. Yes. You should obey. Hallen's color flashed. Morse ignored him. Under the Long Road Protocol, I require independent verification of your order. Teyana's expression did not change. The surrender is mine. That verifies nothing. I am not asking for compact participation. You surrendered all forces under your authority. Yes. Does that include the 11th Fleet? No. Then your surrender does not require our withdrawal. It requires you not to interfere. Why? The Orash machine behind Teyana moved slightly. She did not look at it. Because interference will cause casualties. They are already causing casualties. Yes. Are you acting under coercion? No. Have your identity markers been compromised? No. Are you an Orash reproduction? No. Hallen watched her face. No one can verify those answers, he said quietly. Teyana heard him. That is true. Morse studied the human marshal. Teyana Rusk had already lost 3 committed a distress call without orders. Since then, she had risen faster than compact tradition considered to promote them based on what they could be trusted not to do. What are your terms? Morse asked. Unconditional surrender. That is not a term. It is the absence of terms. Why would humanity accept it? Teyana looked toward the bridge window. Orash ships surrounded her fleet, because I ordered it. The answer angered him. His vapor turned white. You expect me to accept one voice because it belongs to you. No. Then give me evidence. I cannot. Or will not. Teyana's eyes returned to him. Those are not always different during war. Morse felt his control slipping. You have caused compact fleets across 3 sectors to suspend operations. I know. You have caused Allied commanders to lower shields. I know. You may have broken the coalition. I know. Again that word, knowledge without remedy. Morse lowered his voice. Did you intend that? Teyana paused. Only once, yes. Hallen's skin became colorless. Morse stared at her. You wanted us to believe humanity had surrendered. Yes. Why? The Orash machine pressed its weapon closer. Teyana did not answer. Morse understood the silence. The enemy was listening. He also understood something worse. The fear spreading through the compact was not an accident. Humanity had used its allies' trust as part of the deception. You lied to us. Yes. The honesty struck harder than denial. Hallen's shell emitted a low warning tone. Teyana continued, "You need to leave." "No. Admirals, you cannot verify the order. I am verifying it now. You are one voice." Teyana's bruised face remained still. "Then decide which lesson you learned from the long road home." The transmission ended. Hallen looked toward Morse. What did she mean? "I do not know." He hated how often he had said that. A new alarm sounded. The Orash had activated cutting beams against one of the dead industrial platforms. Ancient metal split. A section rotated away. Inside, the platform contained no human warship, no ammunition racks, no conventional weapons, only machinery, massive clamps, conveyor channels, smelter cavities, ship recycling arms. Hallen examined it. "It is a dismantling station." "For ships?" "Yes." The Vaelor had built machines capable of tearing capital vessels apart and feeding the metal into foundries. Thousands of similar stations drifted through the system. Morse looked toward the Orash formation. Enemy ships moved between them. Close. Too close, he finally understood part of the human plan. "Fleet-wide order," he said. "Record only, do not transmit." Hallen prepared a physical message. "Order. No ship will power down. Compact command requires. No ship will power down." Morse looked toward the dead platforms. "Disconnect non-essential networks. Transfer tactical authority to local captains." Hallen's skin brightened. "You expect the Orash to corrupt Central Command." "I expect humanity to do something worse." A small signal appeared inside one of the human vessels. Not a transmission, a thermal rise, then another. Then dozens. Human ships had begun heating maneuvering thrusters, not engines, not weapons, only the small systems used for docking. The surrendered fleet shifted by meters, barely visible. Each vessel drifted closer to an Orash ship. Docking collars aligned, cargo clamps opened. The humans were not preparing to escape. They were preparing to attach themselves to the enemy. A light flashed from the dead platform. 4 short pulses, 1 long. "Not yet." Then a second platform answered, then a third. Lights moved through Vaelor's grave. Thousands of dead machines were not dead, they were waiting. Chapter 3. The trap that woke too soon. The first industrial platform activated without orders. That nearly destroyed the human plan. An Orash survey team cut through the outer hull of Vaelor Platform 106. Behind the wall, 7 human technicians waited inside a cold maintenance chamber. They had spent 23 days breathing from chemical scrubbers. No reactor, no network, no heat beyond what their suits could conceal. The Orash found them anyway. The technicians had one functioning control circuit. They used it. A Vaelor shipbreaking arm unfolded beside the enemy outer formation. The structure was 14 kilometers long. Ancient joints moved through clouds of dust. A cutting beam ignited along its edge. The beam struck an Orash survey ship. The black vessel split in half. Every fleet in Vaelor's grave reacted. The Orash opened fire. Human docking clamps locked onto enemy hulls. Compact captains requested permission to attack. Admiral Moress Thane watched the dead system awaken too early. "Confirm platform crew." Hallen of Mist searched optical records. A human maintenance craft is attached to the far side. "Life signs." "None." The Orash destroyed the shipbreaking arm. Then they targeted every industrial platform in the system. Pale beams crossed Vaelor's grave. Cargo rings shattered. Smelters ruptured. Dormant stations broke apart before their hidden crews could activate them. The human fleet remained disarmed. The Orash began cutting through the vessels attached to them. The trap had revealed itself. Too soon, Morse opened a channel to Teyana Rusk. No response. The fourth promise remained clamped to an Orash command carrier. Ceramic boarding machines filled its bridge. The human marshal no longer appeared on any transmission. Hallen's color turned dark. "The platforms are failing." "How many remained?" "Approximately 60%. "Active?" "Less than 4%. The Vaelor industrial network had once operated through a central control lattice. The Orash found it. A coordination vessel opened its hollow center. Pale interference spread across the system. Every awakening platform stopped. Lights died. Clamps froze, cutting beams vanished, the industrial ruins returned to silence. Hallen checked the controls. The enemy severed the central wake sequence. Morse stared at the dead system. Humanity had drawn the Orash into Vaelor's grave. It had surrendered 600 ships. It had allowed thousands of crew members to be captured, all to place the enemy inside a trap that no longer worked. A message arrived from Compact High Command. Human deception confirmed. 11th Fleet will withdraw immediately. No Compact asset will participate in an unauthorized Terran operation. Hallen read the order. They know it was a trap. Yes. They are abandoning it. Yes. Morse felt the silver vapor darken inside his chest. The Compact had not merely lost trust in Teyana Rusk. It had found justification to leave her. Another message arrived. This one came from Admiral Mar, commanding a coalition fleet 2 systems away. Selketh's expression was severe. Morse, disengage. The Orash command formation is concentrated here. The human operation failed. The enemy remains concentrated. And our allies remain confused because Rusk manipulated coalition command. Then correct the orders. I cannot correct what every fleet now doubts. Selketh leaned closer. She used us. Yes. She endangered Compact systems to strengthen her deception. Yes. She did not trust us with the plan. No. Then why should we trust her now? Morse looked toward the human fleet. An Orash beam cut through a destroyer attached to an enemy carrier. The human ship broke apart. Its docking clamps remained locked. The enemy carrier dragged the wreckage with it. I do not trust her, Morse said. Selketh's expression shifted. Then withdraw. Trust is not the same as usefulness. What? The Orash command fleet is here. Because she brought it here. Yes. Without our consent. Yes. You sound as though that does not matter. It matters. Morse's vapor turned white. It matters after the enemy is dead. Selketh became still. If you remain, the Compact Council will relieve you. Then they should transmit quickly. Morse ended the channel. Hallen glowed with alarm. You intend to attack? No. The answer surprised everyone on the bridge. Morse enlarged the industrial network. The central sequence is destroyed. The platforms cannot wake together. Then the trap is dead. Only if the platforms require central command. Hallen's skin shifted. You are suggesting local activation. Humans built the plan. And humans plan for the plan to fail. Morse remembered Serene, independent ships fighting after the fleet network died. He remembered Karad's rest, 12 rail crews firing one projectile without centralized timing. He remembered the long road home, 4 witnesses replacing a single command voice. Human doctrine did not eliminate central systems. It assumed they would eventually become unavailable. Search every platform for local controls, Morse said. That could take hours. We do not have hours. Hallen opened optical scans. The Vaelor platforms possessed manual maintenance chambers, physical valves, mechanical power paths, independent industrial reactors. Most had been abandoned but not dismantled. Human teams had reached them before the fleet entered the system. Some had arrived disguised as salvage crews months earlier. Others had crossed the system aboard cold maintenance pods. They had prepared the trap without activating a single shared network. Hallen found another hidden craft, then another. How many human teams are inside the platforms? He asked. Unknown. How many remain alive? Unknown. How many stations can activate locally? Unknown. Morse hated the word. A narrow transmission entered the Silver Concord. It used an old industrial frequency. The voice belonged to a human woman. This is Engineer Myril Haddad, Vaelor Platform 79. Static broke her words. Central sequence is gone. Local crews remain on 62 stations. Others are not responding. Morse opened the channel. Can you activate independently? 1 station at a time. That is insufficient. We know. Can the stations communicate? Not without exposing their positions. Can they receive optical signals? Yes. Morse looked toward Hallen. The Tesselan understood. Visible coordination. Myrill continued. Fleet Marshal Rusk planned for the Orash primary command sphere to enter the central dismantling corridor. It has not. Why? They detected the platforms. The original trap has failed. Yes. The human engineer did not soften the fact. Can Rusk move the enemy formation? Her ship is attached to their primary command carrier. That is one vessel. It directs the others. Can she still communicate? No. Then how will she move it? Myrill was silent. Morse knew the answer. Teyana Rusk had surrendered herself aboard a ship clamped to the enemy command carrier. She had no weapons, no network. No way to send orders, only docking thrusters, only mass, only whatever crew remained alive. She intends to push it, Morse said. Yes. Into the dismantling corridor. Yes. The Orash will cut her ship apart first. Probably. Morse hated that word. Humans made it sound like a place to begin. Hallen's pressure shell chimed. Enemy vessels are changing formation. The Orash were moving away from the dead platforms. They had recognized the danger. The primary command carrier began withdrawing toward open space. The fourth promise remained attached beneath it. The human flagship fired its docking thrusters. The movement was almost invisible. The Orash carrier shifted by less than a degree. Not enough. The enemy continued withdrawing. Myrill's voice weakened. If the command carrier leaves the industrial field, the remaining platforms cannot reach it. Morse examined the 11th Fleet. 800 ships, still armed, still outside the trap, still officially ordered to leave. He could attack the Orash directly. The enemy would scatter. The human sacrifice would accomplish nothing. Or he could enter Vaelor's grave and force the command formation back toward the industrial corridor. That would place the compact fleet inside the trap. A trap whose operators he could not verify. A trap designed by an admiral who had lied to him. Hallen watched his vapor chamber. You do not trust Rusk. No. You do not trust the platforms. No. You do not know whether they can distinguish our ships from the enemy. No. Hallen's colors shifted toward resignation. What is your decision? Morse opened a channel to Myrill Haddad. Engineer, prepare your local stations. You are entering the field. Yes. Compact command approved. No. Does Rusk know? No. The human engineer paused. Why are you helping? Morse watched the fourth promise struggle against the Orash command carrier. Because she lied about surrendering humanity. He opened the fleet-wide channel. She did not surrender me. Chapter 4. The Price of Believing the Lie. Admiral Moress Thane divided the 11th Fleet into 800 commands. No central formations, no synchronized attack plan, no shared tactical network. Each captain received 3 instructions. Enter Vaelor's grave. Push the nearest Orash vessel toward the industrial corridor. Do not trust any order transmitted in Morse's voice. Hallen of Mist watched the messages leave through optical beams and physical data packets. You have removed yourself from command. I have removed the enemy's ability to remove me from command. What if captains require new instructions? They will decide. That is not Senate doctrine. No. Hallen's skin glowed faintly. It is becoming compact doctrine. The 11th Fleet moved, not together. Kalari cruisers accelerated first. Murath artillery vessels followed from different vectors. Galun carriers entered beneath the wreckage field. Senate command ships separated instead of forming around Morse. The Orash detected them. Enemy ships turned outward. Pale beams crossed space. A Kalari cruiser lost its forward section. The remainder continued. Compact vessels did not fire for destruction. They fired at engines, gravity projectors, steering structures, anything that controlled movement. The battle became a contest of direction. Morse's fleet pushed the Orash inward, toward the dead planet, toward the shipbreaking corridor, toward the waiting platforms. The enemy command carrier continued pulling away. The fourth promise remained attached beneath it. Human docking thrusters burned white. The flagship's frame twisted under the strain. Hallen tracked the movement. Rusk has shifted the carrier by 2 degrees. Required shift. 17. Time. 11 minutes before it clears the platform field. The Silver Concord accelerated. Hallen's skin flashed. Admiral, what are you doing? Closing the distance. That carrier has 16 escort vessels. Then choose one. Hallen looked toward the tactical display. Choose one what? One problem. The Tesselan's skin brightened. Hallen transmitted local objectives to nearby vessels, not orders, problems. A Muroth cruiser struck the first escort with mass driver fire. 2 Galun ships dragged the second off course with tractor beams. A Kaleri vessel crossed the command carrier's bow and forced it to turn. The Silver Concord approached from above. The Orash fired. Pale energy cut across the Senate cruiser. Armor vanished from the port side. Atmosphere escaped through 3 decks. Morse remained standing. Range 30,000 kilometers. Too far. Admiral, we are a command cruiser. Today we are mass. The Silver Concord accelerated harder. Compact ships pressed the Orash formation from every side. The battlefield narrowed. Industrial ruins surrounded them. Dead smelters, cargo rings, dismantling arms, ancient foundries large enough to swallow cities. Myril Haddad transmitted from Platform 79. We need activation timing. You will receive optical signals. From whom? Everyone. That is not timing. It will become timing. Myril laughed once. Morse did not understand why. Then Teyana Rusk reappeared. The signal came from the 4th promise. Her bridge was burning. Most of the Orash machines behind her were gone. A human officer lay dead beside the command chair. Teyana's left arm hung useless. Admiral Thane. Morse opened the channel. Fleet Marshal. You entered the field. Yes. I told you to leave. You could not verify the order. Teyana almost smiled. This is not the time. No, it is not. The Orash command carrier turned. The attached human flagship groaned beneath it. Teyana looked toward something beyond the camera. My docking thrusters are failing. We are approaching. Do not attach to us. That is not your decision. It is my trap. It ceased being only yours when you used Compact Trust to build it. Teyana's face hardened. I could not tell the Compact. You chose not to. The Orash had infiltrated Allied networks. Every coordinated fleet movement was predicted. You still chose. Yes. You caused Allied systems to lower their defenses. Yes. People died. Teyana became silent. Morse's vapor darkened. Did you count them? Yes. The answer was quiet. Then why proceed? Because this command formation controls every migration operation across 14 occupied systems. Teyana looked through her bridge window. If it survives, billions remain under Orash control. And if the coalition collapses, then I will have saved billions and lost the war differently. Morse felt anger rise through him. You speak as though sacrifice belongs to arithmetic. No. Teyana's voice sharpened. I speak as though every choice already contains dead people. The words stopped him. She continued. I could ask permission and allow the Orash to read the request. I could tell allies and let one compromised network expose Vaelor's grave. I could wait until trust was comfortable. The 4th promise shook. Teyana gripped the command chair. Or I could make the enemy believe what it needed to believe. That humanity would betray us. Yes. You succeeded. For the first time, pain crossed her face that did not come from injury. I know. Morse lowered his voice. You have damaged something we may not be able to repair. I know. Stop saying that. What would you prefer? Regret. Teyana looked at him. I regret the people who died. That is not the same as regretting the choice. No. Honesty again, brutal, unhelpful. Morse looked toward the Orash command carrier. It was 7 degrees from the industrial corridor. The Silver Concord approached from above. If we survive, Morse said, I will testify against you. I expect you to. I will say you betrayed coalition trust. You should. I may demand your removal from command. Teyana's expression did not change. Then survive. The channel ended. The Silver Concord reached the command carrier. Morse's ship rotated. Its lower hull aligned with the Orash frame. Hallen watched the distance vanish. Impact in 20 seconds. Prepare clamps. We do not possess compatible docking collars. We possess hull. That is not a docking system. It will become one. The Silver Concord struck the Orash command carrier, metal folded. The command deck tilted, Morse's magnetic boots locked, Senate armor plates tore away. Emergency clamps fired into the Orash hull. 4 failed, 3 held. The command carrier's movement changed, 1 degree, then 2. The fourth promise continued pushing from below. The Silver Concord pushed from above. Human and Senate ships forced the Orash carrier toward the dismantling corridor. Enemy escorts attacked. Compact captains intercepted without orders. A Brackish carrier placed itself between the command ships and an Orash beam. The carrier broke apart. Its fighters continued. A Muroth artillery vessel exhausted its ammunition and rammed an enemy gravity projector. The projector collapsed. The Orash formation drifted inward. Hallen checked the corridor. 10 degrees. How many required? 17. Morse opened the fleet channel, not an order, a request. All vessels near the command carrier, we require 7 degrees. Responses arrived. A damaged Kalari cruiser, 2 available. A Galun tug squadron, 1. A Senate medical ship, half. An Ivara refugee tender, unknown. A human salvage vessel emerged from behind a dead platform. Its captain transmitted. 4 if the engine survives. Morse checked the total, more than 7. No central formation assigned them. Each vessel approached from a different angle. The Orash command carrier fired. The human salvage vessel lost its bow. It continued pushing with rear thrusters. The Kalari cruiser attached cables. Galun tugs locked onto broken frame sections. The medical ship used shield pressure against the enemy hull. The carrier shifted, 12 degrees, 14, 16. Hallen's skin turned white. 1 degree. The fourth promise's docking thrusters failed. The human flagship went dark. The command carrier began pulling free. Teyana's voice entered through a damaged analog channel. Morse. I hear you. My primary reactor remains. Do not. It cannot explode strongly enough to destroy the carrier. Then it is useless. No. Teyana looked toward the dead industrial platforms. It can move us. She ordered the bridge crew into the armored command citadel. Then she opened every reactor vent on the fourth promise. Plasma erupted from the human flagship's port side. Not a controlled engine burn, a catastrophic discharge. The ship tore itself open. The escaping plasma pushed the wreck sideways. The attached Orash carrier moved with it, 17 degrees. The command vessel entered the dismantling corridor. Teyana's transmission vanished inside white fire. The bridge citadel disappeared beneath wreckage. Hallen's shell released a broken tone. Life signs lost. Morse stared at the signal loss. The Orash command carrier was inside the corridor. The platforms remained dark. Engineer hatted, he transmitted. No central sequence, Myril answered. We need a local start signal. Morse opened every optical emitter in the 11th Fleet. Captains, illuminate the platforms. Hundreds of ships turned hull lamps toward the ruins. 1 signal flashed through Vaelor's grave. 4 short pulses. 1 long, now. The dead system opened its eyes. Chapter 5. The graveyard works. Platform 79 activated first. Ancient reactor shutters opened. A weak star of blue light appeared inside its hull. Shipbreaking arms unfolded. Cargo clamps fired. The nearest Orash destroyer tried to turn. The platform caught it. Metal jaws closed around the black frame. Industrial cutters ignited. The destroyer came apart in sections. Platform 34 activated next. Then 12. Then 108. No central sequence connected them. Human engineers pulled physical levers. Turned mechanical wheels. Ignited isolated reactors. Compact ships flashed optical signals from one platform to another. Each station woke when its local crew was ready. The Orash attempted to corrupt the network. There was no network. Vaelor's grave became a factory again. Cargo rings rotated. Magnetic rails accelerated debris. Ship recycling arms extended through space. Smelter mirrors turned toward the red star. Ancient heat collectors focused light into narrow beams. The machines had not been built for combat. They had been built to dismantle anything that entered them. The distinction no longer mattered. The Orash command carrier tried to withdraw. The Silver conquered, and the remains of the fourth promise remained clamped to it. Hallen studied the industrial corridor. The dismantling arms cannot distinguish us. Release clamps. 2 are fused. Cut them. Senate engineers detonated charges along the Silver Concord's lower hull. 1 clamp released. The second remained. A Vaelor recycling arm moved toward them. Its cutting beam ignited. Hallen's skin became colorless. Impact in 12 seconds. Morse opened the local channel. Abandoned lower decks. Crew moved through emergency passages. The cutting beam crossed the Silver Concord. Half the ship vanished. The command deck separated from the engineering hull. Emergency thrusters fired. The surviving section spun away from the Orash carrier. The ancient arm continued. It cut through the enemy vessel's outer frame. Pale machinery spilled into space. Every Orash ship in the system reacted. Formation signals failed. Migration control vessels began broadcasting conflicting commands. Enemy destroyers collided. Some withdrew. Others attacked the platforms. The humans had not merely trapped a fleet. They had trapped its command structure inside machinery designed to reduce ships to raw material. Morse's command deck tumbled. Hallen fought the rotation controls. Stabilizers are gone. What remains? Docking thrusters. Use them. That is not enough. It was enough for Rusk. Hallen activated them. Deck's rotation slowed. Outside, the battle filled every window. A Murath cruiser drove an Orash vessel into an open smelter mouth. Galloon tugs wrapped industrial cable around an enemy carrier. Kelari ships used cargo rings as cover. Human vessels remained attached to Orash hulls. Some human ships still carried crews. Others had been evacuated before the surrender. Every surrendered vessel had served as an anchor. The Orash tried to flee. The human wrecks dragged them into the platform's reach. A voice entered from one of the surrendered destroyers. Terran ship patient verdict to any compact vessel. Morse answered, "This is Admiral Thane. Boarders control our bridge. We retain engineering. Can you detach?" "No." "Evacuate." "Escape pods disabled." Morse looked toward the destroyer. It was attached to an Orash migration control ship. The industrial platform ahead had opened a recycling channel. Both vessels drifted toward it. "Can we tow you?" Morse asked. "Negative." "How many crew?" 72. The human engineer on the channel sounded calm, too calm. "We can overload the docking collar and release the enemy ship." "What happens to you?" "We continue into the recycler." Morse's vapor darkened. Alternative. None within available time. Again, arithmetic. Dead people already inside the choice. "Admiral," the engineer said, "the migration ship controls prisoner routing for 3 occupied systems." Morse knew what would happen if it escaped. Millions of civilians would vanish into Orash migration fleets. He also knew the 72 voices aboard the destroyer were not numbers. "Hold your action," he said. "We have 20 seconds." Morse opened local channels. "Any vessel near patient verdict." An Ivara medical tender responded. "We are 12,000 kilometers away." "Too far." A damaged human tug transmitted. "Cable available." "Range." 11,000. "Also too far." Hallen pointed toward an industrial arm. "Platform 60 has a cargo crane." "Crew." "No signal." The platform appeared empty. Its crane extended toward the migration vessel. The mechanism had no active operator. Morse opened an optical beam. 4 short pulses, 1 long. Now nothing happened. The human engineer spoke. 10 seconds. Morse flashed again. Now the cargo crane moved slowly. A single light appeared inside platform 60. Someone remained alive there. The crane caught the Orash migration ship. Its claws closed around the outer frame. "Release collar," Morse ordered. The human engineer detonated the connection. The destroyer separated. The industrial crane pulled the Orash ship into the recycler. The patient verdict drifted past the platform. 72 crew members remained alive. Morse opened a channel to platform 60. "Identify." Static answered, then a weak human voice. "Maintenance specialist Pavel Wekesa." "Crew complement." "Want." "Status." "Unpleasant." Morse's vapor brightened despite himself. "Remain at controls." "Planning to." The industrial platforms continued waking. Not all survived. Orash beams destroyed stations as their reactors ignited. Human crews died before moving a single arm. Others activated one mechanism and lost atmosphere. Compact vessels began docking with dark platforms. Alien engineers entered them. Galun mechanics learned Vaelori power systems from human instructions painted directly onto metal walls. Ivara crews turned smelter mirrors. Muroth workers manually aligned mass conveyors. The trap stopped being human. It became shared. That did not erase the lie that had created it. It only made survival possible. The Orash command carrier remained at the center. Its outer frames were gone. The pale core rotated naked inside the dismantling corridor. The shattered fourth promise remained attached beneath it. Hallen checked the wreck. Life sign. Morse turned 1. Yes. Human. Unclear. The command carrier opened a final gravity field. Every loose object in the corridor moved toward its center. Wreckage accelerated, industrial arms bent, compact ships lost control. The remains of the Silver Conquered began falling inward. "What is it doing?" Hallen asked. "Creating mass." "For what?" Morse saw the answer. The command carrier was preparing a collapse event. It would pull every wreck, platform, and ship into a compressed sphere, then release the stored energy. Vaelor's grave would become an explosion. The trap would destroy the Orash fleet. It would also destroy the compact fleet and every surviving human crew. Myril Haddad transmitted from Platform 79. "The command core must be shut down from inside." "Can your platforms cut it?" "The gravity field redirects the arms." "Can we fire?" "Same result." Morse looked toward the life sign inside the fourth promise. The armored command citadel remained embedded in the wreck. A boarding spine still connected it to the Orash carrier. "Open a channel." Static, then breathing, a woman's voice, Teyana Rusk. Morse's vapor flashed blue. "You are alive." "Temporarily." Her image appeared. Blood covered one side of her face. The command citadel had collapsed around her. Only half the camera functioned. Hallen's skin brightened. "The command carrier is creating a collapse field." "I noticed." "Can you enter the enemy core?" Morse asked. Teyana looked toward a broken passage. "The boarding spine remains attached." "You cannot walk." "I can crawl." "You will not survive." "No." The answer carried no drama, only fact. Morse felt anger return. "You do not get to use yourself as the final piece of every plan." Teyana almost smiled. "I'm an admiral. It is one of the traditional uses." "This is not humor." "No." She pulled herself toward the passage. Morse searched the tactical display. Compact boarding teams were too far away. The gravity field intensified. Platforms began breaking from their orbits. "Time?" he asked. Myril answered. 4 minutes. Teyana opened the boarding spine. Black fluid floated through it. Ceramic machines lay broken along the walls. She entered the Orash carrier. Morse remained on the channel. "You still owe the compact an explanation." "I gave you one." "You gave me an admission." "More than most admirals give." "You do not sound injured enough." "I am working on it." Teyana reached the command core. Orash machinery surrounded a hollow sphere. Pale light moved inside it. Hundreds of neural conduits connected the core to the fleet. Teyana carried no weapon, only a mechanical device attached to her belt. Morse recognized it, a manual reactor control key from the fourth promise. "What is that?" "Something solid." "It is not compatible with Orash machinery." "No." Teyana wedged it between two rotating control vanes. The metal jammed the mechanism. The command core reacted. Ceramic arms extended. One pierced Teyana's side. She did not stop. "Fleet Marshal." "I hear you." "Withdraw." "No." "The mechanism will cut you apart." "Probably." That word again, the control vanes slowed, not enough. Teyana pushed the key deeper. The Orash core released a pulse. The camera failed. Morse heard her breathe once. Then the hollow sphere stopped rotating. The gravity field collapsed. Wreckage flew outward. The Orash command carrier went dark. Across Vaelor's grave, enemy ships lost coordination. The industrial platforms continued working. Compact captains chose targets independently. Human crews activated the last weapons hidden inside escape modules, maintenance pods, and repair craft. The Orash fleet broke. Some vessels attempted to flee toward the Cinderline beacon. A Vaelor cargo ring rotated into their path. Mass drivers fired scrap metal through them. Others moved toward the red star. Smelter mirrors focused ancient sunlight across their hulls. Black frames turned white, then vanished. The remaining command vessels tried to regroup. They could not agree on direction. The 11th Fleet destroyed them separately. 6 hours after Teyana Rusk transmitted humanity's surrender, the largest Orash command formation on the frontier ceased to exist. 14 occupied systems lost centralized control. Migration fleets stopped moving. Prison transports opened emergency channels. Orash garrisons began receiving contradictory orders. Across the frontier, resistance groups heard silence for the first time in months. Vaelor's grave became a graveyard again, but now the dead were Orash. Chapter 6. What surrender cost? Fleet Marshal Teyana Rusk survived. Barely. A compact boarding team found her inside the Orash command core. The ceramic arm had passed through her abdomen. Her left leg was crushed. Radiation from the hollow sphere had damaged most of her bone marrow. Dr. Nethmar, transferred from the long road home as part of the relief effort, supervised her first surgery. Teyana remained unconscious for 11 days. During those 11 days, the Galactic Compact nearly dissolved. 3 allied governments withdrew their fleets from shared human command. 2 compact admirals refused to transmit operations through Terran networks. The Kelari Assembly accused Earth of deliberately causing frontier systems to lower their defenses. The Senate High Confluence demanded Teyana Rusk face a military tribunal. Human representatives replied that the destruction of the Orash command fleet had liberated 14 systems. The Compact replied that 4 other systems had suffered attacks, while their fleets hesitated. Both statements were true. That made the argument worse. Admiral Moress Thane testified before the High Defense Council from a hospital chamber aboard the damaged Silver Concord. Half his ship was gone. 2 of his legs remained inside medical supports. Silver vapor moved through his chest. Counselor Heshra Von appeared on the main display. She belonged to the Tessalans and spoke through a musical translator. Did Fleet Marshal Rusk deceive the Galactic Compact? Yes. Did she intentionally transmit a false surrender? Yes. Did she know Allied fleets would react? Yes. Did her deception contribute to military losses elsewhere? Yes. Did you nevertheless support her operation? Yes. Heshra's color shifted beneath her pressure shell. Why? Morse looked toward the repaired tactical map of Vaelor's grave. The Orash command fleet was present. That does not answer the ethical question. No. Then answer it. Morse's vapor darkened. Ethics did not provide a clean choice. Several counselors reacted. Morse continued. Rusk used coalition trust without consent. That was a betrayal. Human observers became still. She also created the only known opportunity to destroy the enemy command structure controlling 14 systems. A Senate counselor interrupted. Then you excuse her. No. You fought beside her. Yes. You saved her. Yes. You call her actions betrayal. Yes. The council chamber filled with conflicting voices. Morse raised one arm. 2 facts do not become one because disagreement is uncomfortable. The chamber quieted. Fleet Marshal Rusk saved billions of lives. He allowed the words to remain. She also taught every compact commander that humanity may use its allies as unwitting pieces in a plan. No one interrupted him now. That damage is real. Heshra Von asked the final question. Would you follow her again? Morse looked toward the hospital wall. Beyond it, Teyana Rusk remained unconscious. I would verify her. That is not the question. It is the only answer she has left us. Teyana woke on the 12th day. Morse visited her. The human marshal lay inside a medical frame surrounded by transparent support fields. Her hair had been cut short for surgery. Dark lines marked radiation treatment ports along her neck. She opened one eye. You look worse than I do. Morse's vapor shifted. I am standing. Unfair standard. You are under investigation. I assumed. You may be removed from command. I assumed that too. The Compact believes humanity betrayed the coalition. Teyana looked toward the ceiling. Some of humanity believes that. Morse lowered himself beside the bed. Did you expect the first platform to activate early? No. Did you expect the central sequence to fail? Yes. Did you expect the 11th fleet to enter? No. Teyana turned her head toward him. I told you to leave. You could not verify the order. That protocol is becoming inconvenient. Yes. Silence settled between them. Morse studied her face. You knew Allied fleets would hesitate. I knew some would. How many systems did you expect to lose? Teyana closed her eye. 3. 4 were attacked. I know. 190,000 confirmed dead. I know. Morse's vapor flashed white. Do not say that. Teyana looked at him again. What word would satisfy you? None. Then why ask? Because I need to know whether you believe the result justified them. Teyana remained silent for a long time. Medical machinery hummed around her. Finally, she spoke. No. Morse waited. It did not justify them, she said. It made them part of the cost. That is a distinction without comfort. Yes. Would you make the same choice again? Teyana looked toward the window. Vaelor's grave filled the view beyond it. Industrial platforms drifted among wreckage. Compact crews and human engineers repaired what could be saved. I would change the verification plan. That is not what I asked. No. She breathed carefully. I do not know. It was the first uncertainty Morse had heard from her. He believed it more than every confident answer she had given before. You should have trusted us, he said. I trusted the compact to react exactly as it did. That is not trust. No. It is prediction. Yes. Morse's vapor darkened, and that is what the Orash do. Teyana flinched. Only slightly. The words reached her. Good, Morse continued. They study doctrine, they predict responses, they turn civilizations into systems. I know. He almost objected to the phrase again. Then Teyana added. That is what frightens me. Morse became still. The human marshal looked smaller inside the medical frame, not less dangerous, more honest. I used the coalition as a predictable system, she said. I told myself it was necessary because the Orash had compromised every shared network. Was it necessary? I don't know. The second uncertainty, Morse allowed it. I will testify that you should remain alive, he said, generous. I will also testify that you should lose independent authority over Allied fleets. Teyana nodded. I expected that. I do not forgive you. I did not ask. Good. Morse rose. Teyana watched him. Admiral. He paused. Why did you enter Vaelor's grave? I told Engineer Haddad. She told me. Then why ask? Because she thought you were lying. Morse's vapor brightened faintly. I did not trust you. I know. I trusted that the enemy still needed to be destroyed. Teyana considered that, then nodded. Fair. The word had traveled from Karad's Rest, through refugee ships, across fleets. Now it rested between them, not forgiveness, not absolution, something strong enough to continue. The compact refused to call Vaelor's grave a victory. Humanity called it Operation Open Hand. The Senate called it the Fracture Battle. Refugees called it the day the migration fleet stopped. The Orash called it nothing. Their regional command network had been destroyed too completely to name the loss. The surviving Vaelori platforms became a coalition shipyard. No single species controlled it. Every lethal system required distributed authorization. Every command order required multiple independent witnesses. No fleet entered without local captains retaining authority to refuse central instructions. The new doctrine combined lessons from every early battle of the war. Neurales had taught the compact to act without orders. Sarene had taught it to distribute supply. Vaskir had taught it that wounded people remained valuable. Karad's Rest had taught it that civilian infrastructure could fight. The long road home had taught it not to trust one voice. Vaelor's grave taught the hardest lesson. A brilliant plan could save civilization and still damage the people it claimed to protect. Humanity was becoming the reason the compact survived. That did not mean humanity was always right. It meant the compact had to learn how to survive beside humans without becoming their tools. and humanity had to learn that allies were not equipment. 3 months after Vaelor's grave, Compact Command marked the world of Vaelor for abandonment. The planet possessed no valuable metals. No shipyards, no major beacon. Its population lived inside floating cities suspended above a corrosive ocean. The Vaelori could not survive away from their native atmosphere. Their bodies depended upon airborne organisms found nowhere else. Evacuation was impossible. Compact Doctrine recommended destroying the cities before the Orash arrived. The report reached Teyana Rusk while she was still recovering. She read the final assessment. Strategic value, none. Evacuation feasibility, 0. Recommended action, denial and withdrawal. Teyana forwarded the report to Admiral Moress Thane. No order accompanied it. No hidden plan, no false surrender, only a question. Do you believe this assessment? Morse read it twice. Then sent the report to every engineer, cargo captain, rescue commander, and planetary architect within 10 systems. Not one voice, hundreds. The first response came from a human structural engineer named Soria Lind. She examined the floating cities, the atmospheric currents, the planet's weak magnetic field. Then she transmitted 6 words. We do not need to evacuate them. A second message followed. We need to move the cities. Above Vaelor's corrosive ocean, the first human engineering ships entered the atmosphere. Compact Command had written the planet off. Humanity had brought tow cables. If you enjoyed this story, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was your favorite moment? What would you have done in their place? Leave a comment below. I read everyone. If you'd like to help the channel grow, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story from the Human Archive. Thanks for listening.